Good morning. It's day, I guess, 4.5. So I am done with the night shift. I am just back. I've just gotten a shower, gotten cleaned up. I'm super excited for a multitude of reasons. One of which is I just took some Benadryl, so I'm hopefully going to sleep really well today. Um, I didn't have the foresight to bring any Benadryl or anything like that with me. Thank God. One of the NPs in our group, um, God bless her soul, she had some, and she's like, I will bring you some, and she got it for me. So thank you so much. So there's that going for me. And on top of that, it was actually a pretty good night. This trip so far has been just a tour de force of terrible, nasty crap. And last night there were differences, and so the group of nurses that I was with pretty much got turned loose in our department where we were working in mass, pretty close to the start of a regular shift time. Everybody pretty much had a section. We weren't just trying to learn. We were all able to be turned loose and actually go at it. And it maybe helped because things moved. We were able to actually address problems and work on stuff and get traction, provide care in more timely fashions, help each other, which lowers stress, which makes things happen faster. And as all these things happen, as the workload comes down and the productivity comes up, you reach this balance point where you can actually start thinking about looking into the future as you take care of your patient, as opposed to being reactionary. When you have a couple of people doing this much work, the only thing you can do is be reactive. The only thing you can do is run around and pass meds, or hang a fluid, or try to get blood work long after it was needed. And working in a reactionary way and being way in the weeds leads to bad outcomes because it's slower for patients. It's less effective. Physicians have less information to work with in a timely manner. And as patients get sicker and sicker and sicker, their outcomes become worse and worse and worse. And on the flip side of that, when you have the ability to be proactive, when you have enough labor and you have sufficient bandwidth to actually do things quickly, and even better than that, if you're able to be proactive and you have experienced people who have clinical expertise, they can anticipate things. And we have the ability to look at a patient and say, I don't like the way this patient looks. They're presenting with this and this. They're showing these kind of clinical signs of decompensation. What do I do to stop that before it actually happens? And if you act on it, good things happen for patients. Oh my gosh, surprise. So we were able to do some of that last night. And as a result, good things happen. So this is a positive thing. Hopefully, there are literally thousands. I think just in our group alone, I think there's something like 2,500 nurses, NPs, PAs, paramedics who are working inside of the city hospitals of New York's health system. And that's a lot of people. That's a lot of bandwidth that you can add. That's significant. That is clinically powerful support. And a lot of these people are sharp. They are talented. They are skilled. And they're going out there and they're beating themselves half to death to try to lend support to these people who can't keep doing it. They've been beating themselves so hard for so long that they're worn out and they're tired. And I don't care how good you are. I don't care how fast you are. I don't care how compassionate you are. When you work under that much stress and you're that far behind and you're that far in the weeds, You cannot work at the capacity to save everybody all the time, and you're going to end up with bad outcomes. And this applies to all of healthcare. It applies to anything. It applies to your corner store. It applies to any business. It applies to anything. So, surprise, putting sufficient bandwidth into the system is going to actually save lives. And maybe we should think about trying to do that for some of these other areas that are starting to become hotspots. Hopefully, as some of us rotate out of here, some are going to go to other places that are becoming hotspots. Some of us are going to go back to our hometowns and hopefully take some of the things we learn here. And we are learning a lot of stuff. We're learning how this disease acts. We're learning what does it do that, say, the common flu doesn't. We always talk about the common flu. This is just so dissimilar from the flu. We can use it as a comparison, but to actually compare it clinically to the way it acts upon the body and the way that it harms people is just pointless. It's kind of like trying to compare a toilet seat to a hammerhead shark. It's just a different critter. So hopefully we're going to go back to where we come from, and we share this knowledge, we share this understanding, and we save lives. Because ultimately that's the goal, to improve outcomes for everybody. So that's exciting. Other exciting things about last night. I got to work with a really talented young nurse. One thing that you'll see in some bigger systems, and it's unfortunate, it used to be very rare that new nurses, younger nurses, would end up in exceptionally high acuity specialty areas like the emergency room. You will often hear people say, oh, you have to have 2 years of experience before you could ever go into an emergency room or an ICU. It's a different story. We could have a long talk about that. I have some very, some strong opinions about that. But for the purpose of this chat, it doesn't matter. But this young lady, she had her stuff together. She presented as professional and efficient. And I was like, well, hey, how long have you been in this department? She's 6 months. I'm like, oh, hey, cool, good for you. Where were you at before that? And she gave me the name of her school. I was like, you're a new grad. And she's like, yep. I'm like, damn, what school did you go to again? And was everybody there as good as you? This young lady was super talented, and I love running into these super talented young nurses. And after having some conversations with some other folks about this, she had the one quality that I think all exceptional professionals, all exceptional young nurses have, and that's that she cares. You cannot teach somebody to care about the quality of their work. You can't do it. You can't train it. You can't beat it into them. You can't sprinkle it on them. You can't in-service it. You can't mandate it. People either give a shit or they don't. And the ones who care about performing at a high level, they have a huge advantage. You can be super talented. You can be super smart. You could be exceptionally gifted in many ways. And you just won't be good at the job if you don't care. You're just not going to do it. You'll be average. You'll be mediocre. I know nurses who are that, who are super smart, super talented. They could just crush just about any specialty they wanted to, but they just don't give a shit. And as a result, they're mediocre. And they're not somebody I'd want taking care of somebody I love if they're really sick or having a really bad day. So kudos to this young lady. She's going to do well in her career. I've already invited her. I said, come back to Columbus. We'll find you a job. It makes me think about other young, talented nurses that I know and care about and think super highly of. One of them is here in New York with me. Dude is the goods. He's an awesome nurse, and he could take care of somebody I love anytime. Another young lady back home that I talked to about, I said, hey, do you want to consider coming up? She has a young child, and she recently left one health system, and she's going to be going to another. And I thought, well, maybe she want to go, and she didn't. And God bless her heart. I think she's volunteering in the metropolitan Columbus area, trying to organize response for COVID in a auxiliary medical support fashion. This young lady, man, she's got her shit together. I knew her when she was a tech, when she first walked onto the floor as a nurse. Badass, and she's just grown by leaps and bounds. And it's really inspiring to see these young people who come into the field and do well. I'm not at the end of my career, but I can see it from where I'm at. It's a young person's game in the emergency room. I mean, it's physically taxing. And I beat myself up trying to keep up with these kids. So I am super happy to see some of these young folks who care deeply, and they're skilled and they're talented. And it's nice to know that this art will be left in good hands. So yeah, this is a good morning. I feel good. I'm happy. I don't feel stressed. The stress of the last few days has been crushing. And once again, it's that stress and that pressure makes everything worse. It makes it hard to sleep. It makes it hard to eat. It makes it hard to relax. And thank God I feel better. I have some hope that we can do some good here. And so I'm inspired. So, so hopefully I'm going to get some really good sleep today, and we'll go from there. And hopefully tonight, we're not going to have all good nights, but hopefully we have, another good night tonight, and, we'll take it one day at a time, one patient at a time, and we'll go from there. So that's it pretty much for day 4.5. So please remember to be good to each other, be kind, think of what you can do to help others through all of this, because we really are all connected. We've always said that, we've always made those points, and boy, it just seems really super painfully obvious now, doesn't it? We're affected by what happens to, the folks who bag our groceries, and the folks who, mow yards, and the folks who, drive the milk truck to the schools, and so let's figure out what we can do to help with all that. So, okay, well, I'm getting sleepy. I'm sure you guys are getting tired of listening to me burn my mouth. So that's all for tonight. Take care. Have a good day, and we'll see when I talk to you again. Have a good one. Bye.